Well, this is day 2 of the trip from Mexico to Canada, and we spent most of the day with myself and my company doing an event in San Jose, California. That took up most of the morning and afternoon, so I didn't really get on the road to get out of the San Francisco Bay Area until late in the afternoon. As you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful day, but I think it's probably around 5 p.m. if I have to guess. I don't recall because I'm doing this after the fact. But we're getting ready to drive over the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm going to probably hope I make it all the way up to somewhere north, maybe Petaluma or further north than that, Santa Rosa, but wherever I can charge. Yeah, I can't get over how beautiful it is outside and the clear weather, and it's been a great trip. Of course, the Leaf battery overheats, and we even had that today, even though I didn't do a lot of charging. I had a lot of problems last night where the battery was really, really hot, and I didn't get into San Jose until 5 a.m. this morning. And now, you know, the battery just really never cooled down much throughout the day. There's no cooling system, active cooling system in a Leaf battery. And here we are going over the Golden Gate Bridge, or getting close to it, and yeah, it looks great. Lots of happy people climbing or walking or whatever they're doing over the bridge. Hopefully they're not climbing, because usually that means they're going to jump off and commit suicide or something. So don't want to see that. But anyway, it's a beautiful day. I'm looking forward to the rest of the trip. I hope we make it to Petaluma. The car is running great, except for the issue where the battery gets hot. And well, we'll hopefully see you real soon further north. Oh look, it's a RAV4 electric vehicle sitting right opposite of me here in Petaluma, California. Just got done charging up. I forgot that it has a parking brake. The battery is hot, and you know, I don't think it's ever going to cool down. Ukiah, California. We're in Ukiah, and I'm driving into one of the stops we made in 2012, 10 years ago, and it was right here at the Super 8, and we spent the night here, and there were chargers right in the front, and there they are, still there. It looks like the same ones even. That's pretty wild. And I'm a veteran, so I'll just park right here and go in and say hi. What a great way to start a day with the California redwood trees right in front of you. And we're going to start here from the Benbow Historic Inn in Garberville, California, in the redwood forest. And we're going to continue up to Grants Pass, Oregon. Probably make a stop in Crescent City, right on the coast. Sometimes that can be kind of foggy even. It's so close to the coastline. Anyway, we'll talk to you in a bit. It's day 3, and I am driving between Garberville, California, and Crescent City. And it is absolutely a spectacular day with blue skies. I was worried about getting fog this morning because of the temperature. It's only about 59, 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 15 degrees centigrade. And, you know, the water temperature is something close to that. So generally, the closer you get the water temperature to the ambient air temperature, the higher likelihood there is a fog. And as a matter of fact, fog is so prevalent here in the Crescent City area that the U.S. Army Air Corps trained to fly in fog here during World War II. There were other places they did that, but this is one of them, and that's because the airport is literally right on the water, and it was almost guaranteed to get fog a good portion of the year. So anyway, the ride is going quite well. The battery, unfortunately, in this car is overheating. I can only really get one good charge at the beginning of the day, and beyond that, it looks like the charge rate slows way down as the car apparently is letting the battery get too warm. Of course, the Nissan Leaf never had a battery cooling system of any kind, zero, none, and somehow in 12 or now 13 model years from 2011 to 2022, they couldn't get that figured out. It's a little sad, but you know, they have sold over 500,000 of these cars. So they are doing something right. The people who are buying them, by and large, probably aren't really fast charging them at all. I think there's some numbers out there that I saw recently that even today in 2022, about well over half of the folks who have an electric car never use a fast charger at all, zero. And so they, believe me, they built they built a car that does that quite well. The don't fast charge part. It'll do it one time at an okay rate. Nothing spectacular. Not even in the ballpark of what you can do with a Tesla. Not close at all. But yeah, it is what it is, I guess, as they say. And it's a little bit frustrating because I didn't really plan on having these kind of issues with a car in 2022. So there it is. Anyway, it's a beautiful drive. We'll touch bases with you when we get to Crescent City for just a quick top off. We'll probably only spend a small amount of time there because I intend to get to Grants Pass, Oregon. Again, all the same route that we did 10 years ago, and I had to do a lot more stops in those days. Of course, at the hotel we just left at Benbow Inn in Garberville, I charged there, but we didn't even spend the night. We just went straight into driving because we had to. We had to just to keep any kind of a schedule. And, you know, and of course I got pulled over by the police in the middle of the night at roughly 2 o'clock in the morning, driving at a ridiculously slow speed of 15 or 20 miles an hour. And of course the police must have thought I absolutely had to be drunk. So anyway, I don't have to do that anymore. I'm driving just the same speed as everybody else. That's one huge advantage. The car can go 226 miles, which is another huge advantage. It's really down to one simple limitation, or maybe two. One is the car cannot do multiple charging in a day. So that kind of takes it out of being a car that you can take on a road trip. You can stay within a region, maybe you can fast charge once, but beyond that, it's really just not practical. And then secondly, the charging infrastructure is just, I won't call it abysmal because that's what it was in 2012. It was actually non-existent in California in particular. Oregon and Washington got that figured out right away, and they've only improved upon it since then. California has too. I mean, we have a lot of fast charging equipment, a lot of infrastructure, but the fobs and the apps don't always work so well, and the equipment is broken more times than I would like to even admit, to be honest. I've pretty much had, almost so far, a majority of the interactions that I've had with fast charging equipment, I had to make a phone call, or I had to do some kind of change to the app, or I had to try it 2 or 3 times, or something else. The the simple process that you use with a Tesla car, where you drive to the supercharger and you literally just plug it in. No apps, no cards, no fobs, no nothing. Just plug the car in, make sure it's charging, and then walk away. And you can check it on your app and make sure that the charger is working fine, and nobody unplugged you or something like that. And then at the end of whatever time it is, and it's quick, you're going to go back and find your car charged. That's the model that needs to be done going forward. And I'm just mystified how companies like Nissan just can't get it. Anyway, we'll chat again when we get closer to Crescent City. Population 357. This is a little bit bigger than the town I grew up in Augusta, Montana, which I think has a population of just under 300. We charged here in 2012. Oh, I gotta slow down. At the little campground right around the corner here. Welcome to Crescent City, California. Hopefully we'll be able to find the fast charger here quickly. There really should be better signs and directions. Kind of like a gas station. You don't have any difficulty finding most gas stations. They're readily apparent where they are and what they do. But some of these quick charge locations, they hide. Put them behind buildings. There's not even a sign that says something's back there. You got to kind of figure it out. And that's another limitation for public charging. Tesla tends to put things in pretty high profile areas that you can easily find. So this has something to do with that Best Western right there here in Crescent City is where the chargers are. And we're just going to have to drive around until we find them, because I don't see them. I'm going to guess they're way in the back of this building.
Turn right onto US 101.
So guys are busy painting.
Turn right onto US 101.
And there they are, way in the back. It's off my right, and kind of a maze in order to find them.
Turn right onto US 101.
No signs. Not even really good directions from PlugShare. There's the back of the hotel.
Proceed to the route.
Let's see if it'll start going. I'm going to use the app. And these aren't even marked, so I don't know if that's DC number 1 or number 2, because it's not marked on it. So I'm just going to hit start charge. I don't know if I have the right one or not. Okay, actually the one on the right is DC charger number 1. And that's what it says on the screen, but that's not even intuitive. I would guess number 1 would be on the left and number 2 would be on the right. They have it backwards. It's not marked. That's readily apparent anyway. So on the app, I told it to contact the charger and start. You can just see it just went to in use. And it says I can plug in now, which I already am. And hopefully it'll start charging. And I hear clinking noises, and there it goes. So it is charging. Little blue light on the dash. And it looks like we're underway. So I'm going to sit here for a while, and we'll talk to you when we get back. It's a little bit cool up here in Crescent City, so you kind of need a jacket. I'm going to put mine on. This jacket was given to me by the Department of Transportation in Washington State when we did BC2BC in 2013. So naturally I'll be wearing it on this trip. I'm going to get out my scooter. It's all electric and it's also all-wheel drive, but it's great to use when you're at a charging location. And there it is in all its beauty. It's a nice machine, so hopefully it'll work well for me. And all you got to do is hit a button, and away you go. The wind is really blowing here in Crescent City, California on stop number 11 for recharging the 2022 Nissan Leaf E Plus with a 62 kilowatt hour battery and 226 miles of range. We're using ChargePoint service here, and it requires that I use the app to turn it on and off. And well, you could use a card also, but I forgot to bring that. Anyway, it just turned off with the app, and we'll get going. Well, we made it to Oregon. It's 3:39 p.m. And here we are, Josephine County in Oregon. It's kind of odd they didn't have a sign, "Welcome to Oregon." Maybe they do somewhere. No sales tax in Oregon, by the way. That's pretty rare in the United States. Okay, there's the Oregon sign. Apparently they do welcome us. And there it is, Grants Pass, Oregon.
The destination is on your right, 1995 Northwest Vine Street.
I have my son Kent here waiting for me in his Tesla Model 3. Let's plug this bad boy in. Pretty snazzy car, huh? So I used this exact same location 10 years ago. Well, we had a nice lunch with my son and I, Kent. He'll be graduating from University of Oregon next summer. Hopefully getting into a Oregon National Guard pilot job somewhere in the world. Or somebody's National Guard. And yeah, anyway, we're on our way up towards Eugene or Corvallis, Oregon. All right, we're gonna try the charger here in Wolf Creek. I used this charger back, not this exact same unit, but this exact same location. They've updated the units. I used that back in 2012, 10 years ago, and here we are again. Hopefully it'll be really easy. So car off, parking brake on, and open the charge port latch. Okay, when there's phone service, it works really quick and easy. As you can see, it's already fired up. I just scan the QR code with the app and hit the start button. And now the car is charging. So this was a big win. The first one I went to at Grants Pass, I couldn't get cell phone service, and there's got to be another way to make that work. You know, they might consider keeping the old fobs. That's what I had from 2012 was a fob, and I still have it. The rest of the route is just Interstate 5, the freeway, all the way to the Canadian border. We won't get off this freeway except to charge or to make an excursion. I think my window is getting dirty. I'm gonna have to stop by one of those gas stations and get some window cleaning. There it is, the Seven Feathers. I think I can turn in right here, make sure I don't hit anybody. And where the charger used to be is right over here, and there it is. But this time we're not gonna use that charger, the West Coast Electric Highway one. We're gonna go over here to where the old Tesla Roadster one was and see if that's still there. And I have an adapter that I built in 2013 to use the Tesla charge station. Maybe I'm going the wrong way here. Yeah, it says reserved for a Tesla. Let's see how it works on a Nissan. All right, we made it to Seven Feathers, which is in Canyonville, Oregon. And it's a truck stop, so there's a lot of background noise. There's a lot of trucks behind us that are all idling the engines. And anyway, we have found one of the very rare, I'm gonna move the camera down, one of the very rare Tesla Roadster chargers. This is for the original Roadster that Tesla built from 2008 to 2011. And I've used this before. Actually, the first time I used it was in 2013. I built this little adapter just for that trip. So it has a Roadster inlet, and it has the regular J1772 outlet. And of course, the two don't go together, but with this adapter, I can make it work. So we're gonna try it on the Leaf and see if it works. I've tried it on regular Teslas, and I used it on my Toyota RAV4 EV, which also has a Tesla drivetrain and battery. So this is something really unique that with the Leaf, I don't expect any problem, but you never know. So let's give it a try. Okay, I just learned something super important. You can actually have these turned where they don't line up, so the inside part turns separate from the outside. It's old school. I don't think this is supposed to move back here. This part back here I think is loose, but I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm gonna turn it that way, and we're gonna line up the little notch right there with the little pin right there. So there it goes. And then turn it this way. And then you got to push this button, which is not moving. There we go. I didn't have this turned enough, but now you push that button up and that's what kind of turns it on. So now we're going to plug this in the Leaf. And you heard that sound, that click, and it is charging. And there we are charging with the Tesla unit. It was actually made by Clipper Creek. And yeah, they were put in and along this route along the West Coast, so you could drive your Tesla Roadster instead of having to go to RV parks and charge. And they actually run at 70 amps, so it's a pretty high power unit. That was before DC fast charging. And there we are plugged into the car with normal J1772. Of course, this is the Chatamo inlet, the fast charger. And that's the overnight slow charger, our J1772. And here is the 70 amp connection. So if you ever use one or ever see one, you got to rotate this thing that way. And then once you get it all the way rotated, you got to push that pin up to make it work. And you got to line up the pins. So there's nothing fun about it, but once you got it going, it works. A lot easier when it's on the car and you don't have to fumble with your fingers. And then you can see that the car is physically charging on a leaf, and it has the lights here that tell you. So the light on the left is for the first 1/3 of the battery, the middle one is the second third of the battery, and the one on the right is the third third of the battery. And of course the car is almost fully charged, so it's good to go. We'll go try the DC fast charger and then we'll be on our way. Okay, that was a fun test. Now we're going to drive over to the fast charger and just give that a quick try. I don't really need any power, but it's kind of fun using all the chargers I used in 2012. And we're going to drive right in here to stop number 14 at Canyonville 7 Feathers. This has also been updated with new hardware. They just did this last month in May. I did talk to the folks at the Oregon Department of Transportation, and they had an event just last month to celebrate this. So it kind of reminds me of 12 years ago when I was the first one to cross the state with their then newly initiated charging network with fast charging. And here I am, maybe it's crossing the state for the first person to use it with the new equipment. Probably not, because this has been in the ground for about a month, and I'm sure somebody's already done this kind of a trip. We're coming up on Roseburg, Oregon. I stopped here in 2012, so I kind of remember where it is, but it's right off the freeway, and it's behind a little shop. So let's see how successful I am in finding it without cheating. It might be behind this shop right here, or maybe this one. I'm gonna go back here and see if I'm wrong. There it is. I knew it was behind a building. I just missed it by about 1 block. Like we have somebody else here. All right, well, we're gonna let them charge because I don't need a charge. And on we go to the next one. I think this location used to be a Motel 6, but now it is a Rice Hill Inn, and we definitely used this location in 2012. And there it is with a shiny new charge station. And I'll have to get turned around here to get the parking spot properly. All right, car off, parking brake set, and the door open. I need a way to run the app, which will be with my iPad. Keep forgetting the emergency brake. This is the end of day 3. It's getting kind of late, but I want to get past Cottage Grove. I really liked Cottage Grove from years ago just because there was a kind of a homey feeling restaurant that was right in front of where the Charger was, or the Charger was behind the homey feeling restaurant. But the Cottage Grove has another fondness that I like. I like the movie Animal House because that came out when I was in high school, and I think 1978 or so. And, you know, of course, as a high school sophomore, junior, whatever I was then, I thought it was the funnest movie ever, and I think I even watched it more than once, which was pretty rare for any movie in those days. But there's a couple scenes that were filmed there, and the biggest scene was the parade that goes right through Main Street. That was filmed in Cottage Grove. It's just south of Eugene, and Eugene is where most of the movie was filmed. All the fraternity scenes and the like were done there. So anyway, it's just a little tidbit of history that I like. I've never actually driven down the main street, and now it's already dark on day 3. I want to get up to Corvallis, just north of Eugene, and I want to get to the border on day 4 at the end of the day. So I got to kind of keep to my schedule, but I do want to see Main Street in Cottage Grove. So, you know, we'll give it the old college try, and of course we'll test out the Charger there in Cottage Grove. Here we are, Main Street, Cottage Grove, Oregon, where they filmed Animal House, the parade part of it. It does look like a main street that time forgot. It's easy to see why they picked this location for a town that was supposed to look like early 1960s Americana. Oh, that window is really dirty. But here we are at the location in Cottage Grove for the West Coast Electric Highway. And the restaurant, of course, is closed. But I'll drive by it anyway. There we go. Well, there was a little bit of drama back at Cottage Grove at the Charger. I had an error code 303. I have no idea what that is. It required a full reboot of the Charger unfortunately, what I'm seeing is that in the public charging world, the non-Tesla public charging world, these chargers are not very good. They might be, maybe they work in a test bench somewhere, I have no idea. But in a practical, real-world scenario, it doesn't seem to matter who built the charger or who runs the network for the charger. They have a lot of problems. The Nissan Leaf itself has, one big problem. It'll charge every time the charger is ready to go. But it has problems with the battery getting hot and reducing the charge rate to ridiculous levels. So the two together make a travel like this, a trip like this, somewhat a pain in the butt. And I clearly expected that in 2012. Of course, everything was new. The car didn't have a lot of range. The battery was a first generation product. But Nissan has had, in the case of this car, 12 model years to figure this out. And yet, here we are. A car that has maybe even more issue with reduced charge rate and the battery heating up than the original 2011 and 2012 Nissan Leaf. So that's really, really frustrating. It's hard to imagine how the folks at Nissan think that is an okay product. Honestly, I don't get it. And the charging infrastructure, the problems with that, almost every single charge I'm having to call to get either the charger reset or get it started or, some other issue. But it is far from being a seamless operation that, like a Tesla. Or, for that matter, kind of like a gas station. At the gas station, you have to put the plug in and you have to run a credit card. And usually, if the credit card doesn't work, you can walk in and there's a guy there who can start the pump. But it's not very often, I don't think, on average, that the pumps either fail or the credit card reader doesn't work. And that's the way probably 95, 98, 99% of all gasoline is sold in the United States. And, it's a smooth experience most of the time. And that's unfortunately just, I cannot in good conscience tell you it's a good experience using publicly available charging infrastructure and counting on it. Anyway, I'm kind of frustrated. It's late, but I had a good night's sleep last night. It's midnight. I'll be at Halsey, which is just up the street here, maybe 30 or 40 miles. We'll go through Eugene and Springfield. I don't think I stopped there in 2012, honestly. I do not remember stopping there. If I did, I'll have to look at my notes, but right now I'm not sure that I did. But I know I stopped in Halsey because the owner of the truck stop there came out to meet me. And he was the guy that was approached by the Oregon Department of Transportation and asked to be able to put one of the original West Coast Electric Highway fast chargers. And he made a comment like, there's no electric cars around here. We're out in the middle of nowhere. And he kind of is. He's in farming country. And there's, not a major city anywhere nearby. The closest one would be Eugene. And that's, a distance to the south. So, but they convinced him that he was correct. There might not be any electric cars where he was. But people need that location to charge to go wherever they're going. And thankfully he signed off, and that charger, a new one has been installed there, I'm told. We'll find out real soon, but he made it possible so that I could cross the state of Oregon in one day using only DC fast chargers. I was the first person to do that. And he makes it possible tonight. I'm going to stop at the hotel. I've stayed there before. And sleep, and I'm going to charge my car, and tomorrow tomorrow will be the last day for my trip, and I will go from Halsey all the way to the Canadian border on day 4, and this will end day 3 at the Halsey West Coast Electric Highway Charger. And hopefully it'll charge without me having to call. It's getting old, to be honest. But and we really didn't have that many, when the chargers were brand new 10 years ago, I don't recall having to call even once. Maybe I did and I just don't remember it. But I don't think I had to call even once. I had a key fob. It was real simple. You swipe the fob, kind of like you do with tapping a credit card now, and then the charger just started, and it worked pretty good. Anyway, all right, we'll talk to you when we get in Halsey.